Why don't we go next to, oh, you know who I want to speak to? Hey, Snake from Moscow. Welcome. Are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, Snake, people in the audience were worried about you because we learned last week or the week before that a Russian teacher had been prosecuted and sentenced for telling her students her view on what's going on in Russia. And you and I, when we last spoke, you said if the government figured out who you were, you're a teacher as well, that it could be very bad for you. But I'm so glad to find out that it is not you that has been prosecuted and sentenced.
Yeah, unfortunately, Irina again has received a 5-year suspended sentence.
Yeah.
What makes this particular case very heartbreaking is that basically during I think it's called the discovery stage of the case, it was found out that a group of eighth graders that she was teaching, they basically goaded her and provoked her into that type of conversation. And
Oh,
then they submitted the recording of that session with the help of their parents to the investigative committee of Russia, which is not great. Let me put it
wow.
that
It's
way.
almost like entrapment by 13-year-olds in a way.
Yeah, I mean, people usually think that, oh, teenagers, they're just, they're so innocent. But no, some teenagers are not benevolent. They're outright malicious and malevolent.
Wow. Well,
But
what's
no,
on your mind today, Snake?
basically, I just, today is the first day that I'm back on the server, and a bunch of people told me that you all thought that I got arrested. But no, I'm just down with COVID again. And
Oh,
basically what I wanted to tell you is a very weird thing that has been happening in the Russian educational system when it comes to higher education in universities.
okay.
This summer, considering that they need to hold back the sympathies of all the soldiers and all the policemen, all of Rosguardia, Russian government has created special quotas for children, family members of those particular law enforcement officers, as well as special quotas for people that are being deported from Ukraine into Russia.
Mm.
Basically, it was a carte blanche that allowed people to enroll into any university, onto any program without passing any type of exams that would signify that a person has graduated from school.
Mm.
So 43,000 or more such quotas were created across Russian universities. And considering just how lenient this admissions process is for such people from those categories, it's really surprising that those quotas have not been filled at all. For example, in my university, we received 150 such quotas. We had 120 applications, and only over 90 people actually got enrolled.
Huh.
And
What do
I
you
talked
think is
to
going on? Why are people not attending?
First and foremost, another thing you have to know about the admissions process in Russia is that you register for the admission process using your pension number. So every person who achieves a certain age receives a card called SNILS, which is your future pension, how do you say it, identification card for your pension. So it's very, very easy to dox a person if you take their pension ID number and then look through various government registries.
Mm.
So I think that a lot of those people got really scared that they will be really heavily doxed and will face some sort of retribution in the society.
Wow. Wow. That's an incredible situation. Snake, one question for you. I recently finished reading an extraordinary book by Ben McIntyre about a Russian intelligence officer who was spying against Russia for the UK named Oleg Gordievsky. Is that a name you are familiar with?
Unfortunately, I'm not in that particular period of historical studies, but I will try to email you if I find any relevant information. I'm very skeptical of anybody that's a former spy because spies can be bought and traded on average.
Oh yeah, no, this
Judge.
is a why it's not no, I'm not I'm just wondering if like if people within Russia know about him because internationally his story has been extensively documented. He's still alive. I think he's in his 70s, but something to look into, Snake.
Yeah, I will look. So McIntyre on Gordienko, right?
Yes, Oleg Gordievsky is my anglicized pronunciation of the gentleman's name.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Snake from Moscow, stay safe out there. A lot happening. A lot happening. Let's go next to Guillaume from Montreal. Guillaume, I am anxiously and imminently waiting to go to Montreal. I will be there very, very soon.
Hey, David, you hear me?
I can hear you fine, Guillaume.
Perfect. Thank you, David, for having me. Big fan. Been following you for the last 2 years, I believe.
Thank you.
And quite frankly, if you do have a visit around Montreal, just make sure to let us know what event it's about, and I'll try to attend.
It's actually just visiting family is what it is. There's no events planned right now. People asked, would I be willing to do a Montreal meetup? I would in theory, but it's a lot to plan, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah, that's definitely it. That definitely is. Plus, the venues tend to be a bit more on the expensive side and everything.
Really?
Anyway, my question is a bit of a hypothetical
Okay.
with a bit of a preamble, but I think it's an interesting question to provoke thought.
Okay, if we can limit the preamble because there's 40 people waiting to chat, that would be great.
Just a little one that actually helps keeping that as a hypothetical,
Okay.
instead of assuming that I have a secret method or something.
Okay.
So the hypothetical is, let's say, in a random thrift store, you find a copy of the U.S. Constitution, and that by reading it, you are granted the power to add one amendment to it to fix most of the issue in the long run, probably, that the U.S. is having. What would be the amendment you would magically add to the Constitution?
Oh, I am terrible at these things. I mean, we have so many problems in this country. I don't know that there's one. I mean, maybe it would relate to the financing of politics, but these questions are so tough because they're so unrealistic. And so I don't know. I mean, I think I would declare myself dictator. That would be the one amendment that would fix all of our problems, Guillaume. I don't know.
I know I've been thinking about it, and one that have been floating about in my friend group regarding that was essentially forcing term limits on anything that holds a position of power. So Senate.
Yeah, that occurred to me. Term limit everything. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you want to buy a politician, you have to buy more than the one per decade. So
make it expensive to buy politicians. No, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Let me devote more thought to it, and I'll come back with something more substantive.
All right. Well, on that lovely note, thank you for the call. That's the only question I had. So have a great day, and thanks for the great show you provide on a daily basis.
Thank you so much. There is Guillaume from Montreal. We are going to take a very brief break. If you're holding, don't hang up, because we will be right back to the phones momentarily.